Hey, what's up, guys? Shake Somebody here. It's another episode, guys. We better go to that World Cup. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
It's World Cup qualification season, guys, and Bafana Bafana have played 2 games. Yep, they've played 2 games, and they played today against Rwanda away, and they lost. This is not good, man. It's not good at all. You know, considering the fact that Rwanda's ranked 140th in the world, we really missed an opportunity here. I want this World Cup qualification so bad, guys. I really do, because, you know, I sit and I wonder, like, would I ever be able to see Bafana Bafana at a World Cup again? Like, after 2010? Would we only have to host it to be at the next tournament again? And I feel like this is our chance, guys. Like, we don't have excuses this time around. I mean, number one, there is more African teams that are allowed at the next World Cup in 2026. And also, Nigeria started off poorly, guys. I mean, 2 draws, you know, and from what I've seen of Nigeria, if we put our game up, I think we can get something from them. But now this is done, and we're off to the AFCON now. So the next game Bafana Bafana is going to play is the AFCON. And I think it's time that we stand together this time. And I'm including you in Jablo Blom. Even though your attitude wasn't great, according to the coach, I'm including you. And this is why we need to stand together. The Proteas men and women reached the semifinals of the Cricket World Cup this year. The hockey men's and women's have qualified for the Olympics as well. The Springboks, you know, guys, what they did at the World Cup. It's time to step up, man. It really is, man. You don't want to be that kid that's left out. There's 7 kids that's like 6 of them are achieving. Now it's your turn to step up. And this time around, there'll be no place to hide. Captain Blackburn in the Premier League, captained Portsmouth in the Premier League, captained the national team, the most capped Bafana Bafana player. You guys know him as Mbazo. Aaron Mokoena is here. And I simply asked him, why are there empty stadiums when Bafana's play?
Guys, another big guest on Playing the Field with Chicks. It doesn't get bigger than this one. Listen to this. Captain Blackburn in the Premier League, captain Portsmouth in the Premier League, captain the national team, the most capped Bafana Bafana player. You guys know him as Mbazo. Aaron Mokoena, how are you?
Shakes, I'm very good. Thank you for having me. Great pleasure to have a chat with you.
No, man, it's an awesome pleasure, because I'm actually thinking to myself, you're wearing the Safa kit on. What are you up to these days? You know, can you let us know?
Yeah, no, definitely, most definitely. I mean, I can't stop wearing Safa stuff, you know. I mean, first of all, the boys have qualified for the Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
So I'm always on Bafana Bafana t-shirts and whatnot, you know. I'm the number 1 fan, I would say. What am I doing right now? Actually, I'm working at Safa. Okay. I'm the assistant head of scouting to David Nyati.
Okay.
I'm also the assistant coach for under 17 national team to Duncan Crowley. So in brief, that's what I'm doing at Safa, yes.
No, amazing. I mean, there's a lot. And you know, the funny thing is, Captain, if I may call you that, the story that you had is so unique that I keep asking myself, Jomo Cosmos, young age, you know, plays for Bafana, very young age. I think you're still in your teens when you play for Bafana Bafana. You move overseas and you find yourself in another country. And this is stuff that's happening in Spain. Gavi's doing it now. He's young. Yamin Lamal is doing it as well in Spain. He's doing it too. Saka started playing for England as well at a very young age. You were doing this already back then. And I'm asking myself, when will we ever see a story like that again here? Why don't we see those stories like that again? What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's a great concern, Shakes. It's absolutely been a great concern. I mean, I think, Tina, we were so lucky to have the likes of Jomosono, who I think, I mean, well, I know very well that his heart was mainly about youngsters, introducing or giving opportunity to the youngsters, and build that a transition, if you like, He played the game, and luckily he managed to explore with this game. Played with the likes of Pele. He came back and he established his own football club. That actually gave him, absolutely a tremendous knowledge of how to run a football club, or how to develop players, or how to identify this talent. And I think with us, really, it's what we have missed. But luckily right now, especially at SAFA, we have the technical director Walter Steenbok, with an unbelievable vision, experience. I mean, he worked at Kaizer Chiefs in scouting. He worked at Sundowns in scouting as well. He worked with the likes of Peter Msimani. So his experience actually in SAFA is unbelievable. Especially as a technical director. So he came in immediately. He managed to establish this under 15 national team, which is what actually we overlooked. We sort of overlooked this development structure for quite some time. And likely to have him in at SAFA at the moment, that really helps a lot.
I mean, not only is it like structure, as you mentioned, is it also an element of we also need to trust, because someone trusted Aaron Mokoena at 17 to don the jersey, right? So do we need to trust more? Because in your career, I think by the time you had reached 20 years old, you already had played 100 games in all competitions already. So is it a matter of trust per se?
I think it goes beyond trust. I mean, I always say, as much as we have played the game, we need to start. We need to get qualifications for this game as well. We need to be able to identify talent. That's where the scouting comes in. We need to identify a right talent to be developed. Especially when we talk about international football, we need to understand that there are characteristics of players that can represent the country. That's where we are. I mean, SAFA never had a scouting department before. The coaches would rely from you guys, media, that there is Aaron Mokoena in Belgium. And the coach would call Aaron Mokoena to the camp, not knowing if Aaron Mokoena is good enough to represent the country.
Yeah, sorry to cut in, Captain. I asked this question because, me growing up, when I remember seeing it growing up, Aaron Mokoena in England, Ben McCarthy in England and Portugal. You had Steven Pienaar in England, in Germany, and Portugal. Darren Buckley in Germany. Bradley Cannell in Germany, Macbeth Sibaya in Russia, Matthew Booth in Russia, Nassim Morris in Greece, Sean Bartlett where did we get it so wrong that we had so many players competing at the highest level in the top leagues at the same time? And now, where did we get it so wrong? Where did that go wrong?
For me, I always take it back to development, Shakes. I mean, you're talking about players that I have played in the under 17. I have played in the under 23s. Matthew Booth have played in the under 17s, under 20, under 23. Benny McCarthy have played in the under 17, 20, and 23s. So there have been a transition or graduation, if you like. After this, the team that have beat Brazil in Sydney 2000 Olympics, that stopped. That's why we see ourselves where we are at the moment. But hence I'm saying the fact that again we now have introduced under 15 national team. Now under 15 national team was never there before. I mean, it's the first time. South African football have the under 15 national team. There's under 17 national team, which it's always been there. These players, they need to graduate, and the more they travel the world at that age, 15, 17, 20, it's a great should I say experience. When they get to under 23 and Bafana, then they know.
And I can see why Walter Steenbok has also brought in that CAF license as well, that you've seen Gavin Hunt take part in, Eric Tinkler take part in. But the current national team at this moment, the one that you're a big fan of as well, what have you made of the current Bafana Bafana team at this moment?
Look, for me, Shakes, I'm proud. Right now, I'm sitting here as a proud South African. The boys have just turned the corner. It's been a while not qualifying for Africa Cup of Nations, and the boys have done that under the leadership of obviously Hugo Broos and Helmut Mkhitaryan. That for me, it's absolutely a motivational factor. The boys have played, I think, 6 games already. The past 6 games, they haven't lost a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They only conceded, I think, 3 goals in the previous 6 games. They have beat Ivory Coast, one of the giants of African continent, away. They have the boys have beat Morocco that has been in the previous World Cup, and they've done tremendously well. So for me, I've got I have this I'm motivated. There's from a distance there's a nice synergy in the dressing room. There's a chemistry in the dressing room, and right now, after a very long time, Shakes, you can tell when the Bafana Bafana is going to play, who's going to be on goals, who's going to play right back, who's going to play central defense, who's going to play left back. So you can tell. That's important as well. It shows that Hugo Broos, what he did, actually, he made sure that the boys understand each other.
You speak about Hugo Broos and what he's been able to do. He highlighted recently that in the last 2 years, we have not lost many games. In fact, he went as far as to say we've only lost about 3 games only in 2 years. What has he done differently? And also, why is it like the nation has not fully grasped him yet? Is it because he's too honest? What do you think?
Look, the fact that I have traveled, I've been lucky to travel the world. And I've been lucky to live in Netherlands and Belgium. Dutch people or Belgian people, they direct talkers. They straight talkers. This man is a coach with great qualifications, great experience, and he played the game as well. And he's a straight talker. Unfortunately, I've been so fortunate to work with the likes of Jan Olderickrink, which he was my coach at Ajax. The only the only issue is that we know that our South African people don't like the truth. And when you hard on South African people, especially in our football, you can get to be sabotaged, I would say. So with Hugo Broos, the fact that he's not, South Africa or Bafana Bafana is not the first team that he coached in Africa. So he knows what African mentality is like. So for me, he came to take this job, understanding very well how African mentality is, and he knows a lot about South Africa. Trust me, he knows a lot about South Africa. And I remember his first interview when he took this job. He had an interview with Thomas Mlambo at SABC then. And Thomas Mlambo asked him, Hore, how are you going to deal with players that don't want to represent South Africa? And he said, look, for me, I'm here to give an opportunity to everyone who wants this opportunity and who wants to represent the country. I won't beg anyone to represent the country, and I won't be easy to anyone. And that's exactly how he is. That's what he's doing right now. He's not begging anyone to represent the country.
I totally hear you with regards to that. And you've mentioned some great things with regards to you, Bruce. I'm also a big fan of him. The big talking point that's been happening before I get into the World Cup qualifiers and AFCON is the fact that the stadiums are not as packed anymore. You were playing in packed stadiums all the time. I remember even 2010 World Cup, that first game against Mexico, unbelievable. The support for Bafana Bafana. If I ask you why are people not coming to the stadium, how does Aaron Mokoena see it? Why do you think that is at this moment, that stadiums are not as packed as what it once was before?
Look, it's a big question, Shakes, what you're asking me. But I always say that the guys, as long as they keep winning games, people will come to the games. People stopped coming to the games because, I was in Sun City over the weekend and I met this guy. This guy is a golfer. He asked me the same question: why people are not coming to watch Bafana Bafana. And I said it's all about winning games. You get judged in this game. You get judged by winning trophies. You get judged by winning games. And the more the guys wins, as long as they win games, people will end up coming to the stadiums. Right now, going to Africa Cup of Nations, that's going to be a crowd puller for me. The guys, once the guys do well in Ivory Coast, in next year Africa Cup of Nations, that will be absolutely a crowd puller. But I think again, the most important thing is people have to understand. Our South Africans has to understand that. Yes, I know that football it's number one sport in our country, but we just need. It's a difficult one because we know that South Africans don't have patience. But right now, our South African people need to be honest. Need to be honest now to say the boys have not lost in the past 6 games. What is the problem? What is the problem by supporting the boys right now? My plea, Shakes, is that let's get out there. As much as we have supported the Springbok, let's get out there. We're not the Springboks, but let's get out there and support the boys. These boys, they cannot do it by themselves. We're talking about players that are playing for the likes of Sundowns, Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs. They're in there, but when they were in these national colors, they now become national team. As much as they do go and watch or support them in the club games, let's do the same with Bafana Bafana. These boys need us. These boys need our support. They will never do it by themselves. And right now, actually, they've been doing well. Let's get out there, Shakes, and support these boys so they can really, put South African flag where it belongs.
Amazing. I love the belief. I really love the belief. And the last one is regarding the World Cup qualifiers. We're in the same group as Lesotho, Benin, Zimbabwe. We're in the same group as them. Now, the biggest threat we were always worried about was Nigeria. They've started twice already. They've had 2 draws. Now, as someone who's played in the qualifiers before, what advice would you give the players? Do we worry about Nigeria, or do we just carry on just playing our games? Don't worry about Nigeria. We'll get there when we get there.
Let's play our game. The nice thing about winning games, winning games bring belief. Winning games bring that motivational factor in the dressing room. So the boys now, they do have that confidence. They mustn't think about anyone else but themselves. The only advice for me is that every country, um, when they play Bafana Bafana or South Africa, it does not matter whether it's Bafana Bafana or other sporting countries or other sporting codes of South Africa, as long as it's South Africa. They want to beat South Africa. It's even worse when it comes to football. Every country that plays Bafana Bafana, they would want to beat Bafana Bafana. Whether we can say it's a weak Bafana Bafana or it's Bafana Bafana B, whatever you want to say, you want to call it, every country wants to beat Bafana Bafana. So every game for Bafana Bafana is a difficult game. You can't relax. You can't have to win the game before you win the game. So it's important the guys got to be aware of that. Yes, they've been doing well, but every country, especially in Africa, wants to beat Bafana. So they need always to switch on.
Will we be at the 2026 World Cup?
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely love that. Captain Aaron Mokoena, I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest. For me personally, I wanted to just say this before I do go. I don't think you get enough credit for the career you had, man. I really do not. For someone who's played in Netherlands, someone who's played in Belgium, someone who's played in England, captain teams in England at the top division, captain our nation. You've seen players now reaching 100 caps for their countries. You did that back then already. I don't think you get enough credit, man, and I just wanted to give you that credit. Thank you for what you've done for the nation. Thank you for what you've just the leader that you were. I just remember turning on the TV for a long time, and it was always you, the captain. I didn't know your name when I was still in grade 4, but I was like, I think he looks familiar. Aaron Mokoena, thank you so much.
Rashix, really appreciate it. And anytime, I mean, look, I have to say this as well. I mean, your show is amazing. Keep up the good work. The only thing that can make us to achieve is working hard and believing in ourselves. I mean, yes, thank you so much for fantastic words, and it means a lot. And anytime, I'm here.
Thank you, man. Keep well and take care.
Will do. Thank you. Keep well as well.
Who was up to par and who became our star, but also who fell short in this game we all love? Let's find out on Moegoe of the Week. Star of the Week has to go to the Mamelodi Sundowns ladies. Yep, the CAF Champions League winners. Second time in a row. They did it this past weekend. Scored 3 goals, and Dlamini proving her worth without a shadow of a doubt. That football club, Mamelodi Sundowns, you guys have proper standards. I think, those at Soweto teach them. I don't know how, but just give them lessons or something. Those clubs in Soweto. The Moegoes, I touched on them this past weekend, but they have to be shamed, guys. The Bafana Bafana players. There was a video that came out. They're walking into the hotel. You guys saw it. They walked past as there were fans that were there. And people were speaking about the fact that it could have been staged. Even if it's staged, right? Like, then play the whole thing out. Wave and acknowledge them and stuff. But when you have fans that are there and you're walking past like you're Michael Jackson, guys, no. No, guys. I mean, don't ask for fans to come to stadiums if you're not going to appreciate them. You guys are not AFCON 96. Have you seen the rankings lately? Let's humble ourselves. Moegoe of the Week. It's time for Bet of the Week. Get ready to win big by placing the right bets on the right games. So for this bet slip, guys, I want to leave international football behind. I really do. I want to forget about it. I just want club football to come back. So I only have club football on this bet slip. Cologne going up against Bayern. I've gone Bayern in over 1.5. Manchester City against Liverpool. I've gone with Man City or draw and over 2.5 goals. Werder Bremen against Leverkusen. Leverkusen straight win. Newcastle at home against Chelsea. I've gone with a draw and Chelsea to win. Atletico Madrid versus Mallorca. I've gone with Atletico Madrid straight win. Cadiz at home against Real Madrid. Real Madrid straight win. What are the odds? 11.54. So with just $500, right? 7,000 rands comes out. You don't want to miss out, right? Click on the link below.
Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za.
We've come to the end of the show, guys. And the great news I have to tell you guys is no more international football until March next year. Whew. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.